Superhero fever is reaching its peak. As long as there's been superhero characters, there have always been video game adaptations to go with them. With National Superhero Day upon us, here are Gamify's top 10 superhero video games of all time. Number 10, Infamous Second Son. Infamous Second Son is the third installment in the Infamous series and is visually head and shoulders above its previous entries. Over the course of the game, Delsin acquires new powers and becomes either good or evil as player choices influence his morality. He's not a well-established character from comic book lore, so together you go on a journey with the character, discovering his true capabilities from his newly found superpowers. Number 9. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order.
Watch out, purple!
With an all-star lineup of Marvel characters in their traditional outfits, it's hard not to feel nostalgic when playing some of the greatest characters of all time. From Iron Man to Wolverine and everybody in between. What makes this even better is teaming up with 4 players from any of the various Marvel families, working together to fight enemies and defeat bosses. It's the first Marvel game published by Nintendo and comes a decade after the second game in the series, bringing with it a notable high quality. The game has sold over 1 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling games on the Nintendo Switch to date.
So, I guess we won?
Number 8, The Wonderful 101. This game is one of the most under-the-radar releases on the list, but that does not take away from the genius behind its concept. The game saw players collecting a total of 101 superheroes from different powers to rotate between in a hack or slash strategy game. It was weird, goofy, and an absolute blast. This game can be played as a single player or as a co-op game of up to 5 players. As you collect recruits for your superhero horde, you can turn the collective groups into what is referred to as Unite Morphs to overcome difficult enemies and objectives. The more heroes gathered, the greater the special morph powers can be. Number 7. LEGO Marvel Superheroes. LEGO somehow gets their mitts on every pop culture franchise out there and turns out a rich world game that is somehow both tongue-in-cheek and true to the source material at the same time. And LEGO Marvel Superheroes is no exception. Players are able to control 180 characters from the Marvel Universe, each with their own unique abilities, meaning you can play the game with your preferred character or abilities. The game takes place predominantly in a LEGO version of New York City, filled with nods to iconic Marvel locations such as Stark Tower. The game has also incorporated Marvel Comics co-creator Stan Lee in the game as the ultimate nod to the greatly revered character creator. He has also been selected as a playable character that possesses several iconic powers and abilities. Rest in peace, big guy. LEGO Marvel Superheroes is currently the best-selling LEGO video game of all time. Number 6, Deadpool.
I'm crazy for feelings.
The Deadpool game predates the successful Ryan Reynolds movie adaptations and packs the same amount of wit and self-awareness the character is known for. The game is one of the most faithful experiences of what is to be the merc with the mouth, complete with fourth wall breaking gameplay and a Wade Wilson that cannot feel the weight of what is taking place around him. All of the characters and animations are strong adaptations of the original comics and not the watered down Hollywood versions, meaning the cartoonish humor and violence just works on every level. There is little that true Deadpool fans can stick their noses up at when it comes to this game. Number 5, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of Two Worlds.
This will be a fight to the finish.
The crossover title has a plethora of iconic characters from both Marvel and Capcom universe. In Marvel vs. Capcom 3, players select a team of 3 characters to engage in combat and attempt to knock out their opponents in a tag team style fighter. It features mechanics both new and old in order to make loyal players and newcomers both feel welcome. One of my favorite parts of this series is your team's ability to perform group moves known as crossover combinations.
Crossover combination. Variable combination KO.
It's like if the ending of Avengers Endgame was playable, seeing a group of iconic characters side by side unleashing hell on their enemies. Number 4, Injustice 2. The The team behind Mortal Kombat games brings us this over-the-top and brutal combination of superhero characters fighting it out in an all-out star battle. It features a ton of characters, a deep story mode, and some awesome character customization options. In addition to a stellar DC character lineup, extra content for the game sees characters like the Ninja Turtles, Hellboy, and Sub-Zero join the ranks. Whether you enjoy the classics or the more contemporary and unique characters, you'll be more than happy to literally punch your friends out of this world. Number 3, X-Men.
Go and save the city.
Long before the Marvel Cinematic Universe built up an increasingly large fan base, the arcade game simply titled X-Men was released back in 1992. This side-scrolling beat-em-up is based on the character heroes and villains from the 1989 series pilot, X-Men, Pride of the X-Men. If you're questioning just how good this game is, Konami developed a deluxe cabinet version of the arcade, housing 2 screens so that you and 5 of your friends could all play cooperatively together as all 6 unique characters including Cyclops, Colossus, Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Dazzler.
Magneto is planning to attack Earth from his asteroid base.
The bright and iconic colours still warm the hearts of those who ever find themselves coming face to face with this all-time classic. Number 2, Batman, Arkham City.
Let's start with getting your ass kicked 101.
This sequel to Arkham Asylum is no easy feat, but Rocksteady's plans for Arkham City was clearly go bigger, go deeper, be Batman. The team took everything that made Asylum such a success and poured it into a dilapidated chunk of Arkham City.
You certainly know how to keep a girl hanging, Harv.
Before refining and building on their work, involving many of Batman's greatest foes and improving the game's already stellar mechanics. The result is spectacular, a unique vision of the Dark Knight that encapsulates what makes Batman so exciting as a character. It's hard not to get on board with a Batman game that features Mark Hamill's Joker, Kevin Conroy's Batman, and a twist ending that still has players stunned to this day. Number 1, Marvel's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Much like Batman, Spider-Man has seen countless game adaptations over the years, and with those numbers, there are bound to be both great games and stinkers. Marvel's Spider-Man is by far the best open-world game of the bunch. You want to feel like you are Spider-Man as much as possible, and this is the closest experience to date.
We don't have to do this at all if you don't want to.
We definitely want to.
There is a little bit of everything here for the fan base, and on top of that, it looks outstanding. I mean, the city feels alive. When you swing through Times Square above the traffic, you truly feel like a superhero within a city of civilians that need your help. While the latest release of Spider-Man, Miles Morales, is a fantastic game that somehow manages to provide even better graphics and updated combat over its predecessor, there was little room for that game to improve upon the series as Marvel's Spider-Man managed to deliver on all fronts.
Get it!
Morning, guys.
With a story that had a much grander scale and stakes. This game shows that developers were well aware of what needed to go into a Spider-Man game in order for it to be as close to perfection as possible. This game delivers. So that's it from us. If you think we left any off the list or you have any honorable mentions, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to give us that sweet blue thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our weekly updates. We'll see you next time.